Hi, host Eric here, host of Talking with Famous People, and tonight I join you for a State of the Channel address, which will cover a few different areas in general. Number one, probably the main reason I'm making this right now, regardless of any other corollaries that may sweep conveniently in, is that I kind of freaked out this afternoon. I kind of freaked out, maybe a little more than I've ever freaked out before, on camera. I'm sure I freaked out that much off camera before too, occasionally. But it's not a regular occurrence. I tend to freak out around here more than I freak out in any other capacity. Um, but the point is, sorry about that. My bad. I'll try not to do that again. Um, yeah. So anyway, let's move on. The the INTP problem, as it might be referred to, I think is resolved now because I feel as though I okay, fine, I got it. Okay, Nick, this ties in with this whole thing. Nick comes in and shapes reality for me, which is very convenient. Thank you, Nick. I'm going to somehow attribute it to some. Let me sweep up some dark argument of my own that I can credit it to. I don't know. You know how we roll, mentor. Anyway, um, next thing I'll say about the channel is I'm happy that everybody who comes here, and when I do yell at people and it makes people uncomfortable, then I need to stop that. And when people tell me that, I need to respect that. And that's all there is to it. And it can be a tough line to judge sometimes whether or not I should prioritize in the moment um, comfort, and or if not, if I'm dealing with something that's pushing some buttons, how to respond better to it. And I think I got an opportunity to practice that tonight at the new video I've called. I think it was Basement Overlord Right or Wrong or something like that. I suggest watching it. It's a good video. And this State of the Channel address, it will also address two more quick things before I ask for anybody's input if they have any, which is, number one, I will go further in explaining in general the artifacts marketplace. I heard a lot of comments about it from people, mostly negative, and what I want to stress is this is something that is years in the making so far and is not expected to do anything for quite a while here. So don't worry about it. Part of the way that I'm addressing it in general is to note the conversations about it and adjust accordingly. To the extent that people critique it, that's an example of how the mechanism works. It's responsive to those critiques because they get addressed directly here. Now, I'm not going to address those specific critiques in this exact speech, but as a general rule, I do that, and thus there's legitimate response to critiques. And I'm going to respond to a number of things I heard in a different video later. Okay? So that's the point of that is if anybody's thinking, oh no, Eric is counting on this thing to X, blah, blah, blah. I'm not counting on anything for shit. So don't worry about anything. As far as other things related to the channel, this room continues to be, as far as I'm concerned, an identity optimization machine that is doing a lot of work on me right now, which is breaking me of this habit I have of responding so forthrightly, directly to people in such a loud fashion. So, as I continue to improve with that, hopefully people will continue to find this space useful and increasingly comfortable if they do find that uncomfortable. I would like, additionally, not to take all the clash out of the whole thing because then that would be boring. But there's a way I can avoid freaking out like I did today, and that would be a good thing for me to do. Also, last thing I want to say about this on the State of the Channel speech is casual INTP you were the least of the transgressing of all of that shit, and you got the bulk of the yeah. So that's totally my fault. I'm sorry. You were pretty damn reasonable at the whole thing. I think maybe one little detail I could quibble about, but really, you were the wrong person to take that out on, and I'm sorry about that. That was my fault. You were not really making the arguments I was attributing to you. You did concede the point at the end, and I, at that point, had already lost it because it was cumulative, right? It built up over time for me. It's not an excuse, it's just an explanation. Thank you for any forgiveness you're able to afford me regarding this matter, and once again, I do apologize. So, going forward from that, that's it. We're good to go, as far as I'm concerned. But I don't know what other people think. I know that I'm constantly worried about successfully managing perceptions and people feeling happy and comfortable. So if anybody has any such suggestions and shit, I'm in a particularly approachable and responsive mood right now because I'm feeling post battle toddler tears. You know. Well, I guess that concludes this State of the Channel speech. If you were unconvinced by its fervor, its rationality, or its authenticity, then I did the best I could. I'll try to fix that next time.